Okay, before starting into session 3 today, I'd like to shortly review of session 2. There were 3 messages that we have learned the last session. First, how to find the right customer who need NAC solution into the business. With the Genians NAC yes or no questionnaire list, you can meet your customer and find what they are really concerning from the business. Second, how to design the customer environment with the NAC solution. With the 10 question of understanding customer environment, it will help to learn the customer current network infrastructure, and it is also able to consult to the customer the best design of Genian NAC deployment. Third, how to size the software license and hardware appliance deployment into the environment. You can refer 3 scenarios for Genian NAC deployment by the number of devices on headquarters and the branch. So please review the last session 2 documentation for your actual sales. Okay, let's start to today's webinar session 3. Welcome to Genian Sales Webinar. Hi, my name is Yeonju Lee, an Apex Sales Manager. Genians prepare the sales session for enhancing your sales skill when you meet and persuade your customer. So this sales session consists of 6 sessions. Today, it is the 3rd session of understanding customer need and how Genian NAC can cover. We will look into what functions are needed by the customer and how Genian NAC can cover each need. Before moving to the slide, we needed to check what we learned from this session. I will introduce top priority feature that customer company expect from NAC solution, and I will explain how Genian NAC can cover up their needs for security in this session 3. Okay, let's move to the first top priority feature. Today, I organized this top priority feature steps from what customers question and why it needed and how Genian NAC can cover up. Okay, the first question, how to detect unauthorized devices called the new devices accessing into the business network. As you know, under the BYOD era, 1,000 of multiple devices are accessing to the business network. Even it has brought many productivity and efficiency, it also caused some potential security risk, such as not authorized employee devices, may including malware infection and data leakage. Okay, let's look into how Genian NAC can solve this problem. Once the devices Genian NAC detect a new devices, there are some requiring process for allowing the device to access to the business network. So I largely divided it into pre-admission and post-admission. Under the pre-admission, Genian NAC detect and collect its device's IP and MAC address. If the devices is a new devices and the device's IP MAC is not registered, Genian NAC does not allow these devices accessing into the inside. However, if the device's IP and MAC is authorized, Genian NAC matches with its own user ID. we can call it user authentication. If there is no user information, Genian NAC let these devices sign up to get the user ID. And the next step, Genian NAC checked if the devices has been installed with mandatory software complying by the company reputation. If the devices has not installed with some mandatory software, Genian NAC redirect the devices to install the software. After passing this process, the devices is finally accessing to the inside network. After allowing the network, Genian NAC started to under the post-admission. I mean that Genian NAC continuously monitor the devices. Genian NAC grant the device's role, we can call it role-based access control, which means that the devices only can access the resource that it has meant to be. And if the devices installed some banned or prohibited application or software, Genian NAC identify and block the devices accessing to the network. Plus, if the device's behavior abnormal against the security compliance, Genian NAC block the devices accessing to the network inside. As I summarized, Genian NAC detect and control the devices both prior to access the network and during connecting the network. Okay, let's move to the second top priority feature. The question is, how to match and manage IP-enabled devices with the user, IPAM. I have found that many companies in the APAC are still using DHCP to allocate IP automatically. I agree that IP by DHCP is allocated to the user very quickly and automatically. So it is very simple and easy for IT manager. However, it brings the company security in a risk. There are three risks of the DHCP. First, DHCP has no security provisions. Instead, it only functions to provide IP to the end user. Second, some low DHCP may cause to attack the client or assign the wrong IP address to the client intentionally. Third, unauthorized devices may get IP address assigned from the DHCP because DHCP lack of authorization and its own security provision. Okay, let's look into how Genian NAC can solve this problem. Genian NAC has IPAM, IP address management, as one of the features. So once a device is detected by Genian network sensor in a real time, IT manager find the devices on Genian NAC web console, as you can see on the image on the slide, and the devices is automatically blocked to access the network by default. And then IT manager check if the devices is belonging to a general staff and check if the device's security posture. And then IT manager allowed this devices to the network. Genian NAC allowed these devices after authentication, matching IP devices and its own user ID. So Genian NAC provide moreover IPAM itself. Finally, Genian NAC can identify the devices who is doing what inside the network. Okay, let's move to the third top priority feature. The question is, how to managing business IT asset? The essential step for IT asset management is the visibility. With the device visibility, you can keep track of all IT assets and you can managing the asset from other region or other places as well. So you can determine the asset management level and monitor whole life cycle of the asset with the device visibility. Okay, let's look into how Genian NAC can solve this problem. Genian NAC also has IT asset management feature as one of the features. Once the devices is detected by Genian network sensor, all devices are visualized its inventory risk on the admin console. Genian network sensor is in a real-time detecting and monitoring all IP-enabled devices attempting to access the network. And Genian NAC provide detailed information of the devices such as OS information, hardware spec, mandatory software installation, screensaver setting, password setting in the devices. With this detailed information, IT manager enabled to monitor the device's security posture check and remediate its vulnerability by enforcing the policy. Let's move to the first top priority feature. The question is, how to enforce the devices installing the mandatory software? If you are IT manager, you may experience that staff or employee mostly tend to escape or delay installing the mandatory software, such as antivirus, NAC solution, EDLP. Even you continuously ask them to install this kind of the software agent against the security risk, it is very hard to managing of them. However, what is worse, the delay of software installation has a risk of causing the critical attack from inside and outside. So to solve this problem, IT manager need a solution which can check endpoint security status and enforce the devices to install the required mandatory software. Okay, let's look into how Genian NAC can solve this problem. Recently, a hot issue in cybersecurity is zero trust security. There are several vectors to follow up zero trust security. So one of the vector that I wanted to highlight it is that you need to maintain your endpoint security hasten. I mean the patching, updating. So every devices should install security software and maintaining them latest updating before accessing the network. Once Genian NAC detect and scan the device's detailed information, if the devices has not installed the company mandatory software or some software already out of date, Genian NAC redirect to captive portal, which enforce to install the software or update the latest one. You can refer to this captured image on the slide. This is one of the example our captive portal, which can help you to install the mandatory software by the policy. Genian NAC function to remediate these devices for security and finally meet the devices with the company compliance. And you can also use this feature as the company official audit annually. Okay, let's move to the fifth top priority feature. The question is, what is the way to make a synergy with the existing third-party solution? I wanted to highlight Genian NAC solution with third-party system, such as firewall and SIEM integration, enhancing your environment more secure. So today, I prepare the two scenarios of the integration. First scenario is that Genian NAC with the SIEM. Once you detect your business application attacked by unauthorized access, your existing third-party solution such as SIEM, it has its own log, and then IT manager is able to matching this log with Genian NAC log and can find the attacker. After adopting Genian NAC, every IP-enabled device should be authorized by the Genian NAC. So all of the devices are logged all of their events. Finally, IT manager can find that who was doing what and can find who made accident. The second scenario is the Genian NAC with the gateway parameter solution of a firewall. With deploying both the firewall and Genian NAC, you can secure your business environment against external and internal. With the Genian NAC, you can monitor east and west traffic against the doubtful malware infection. And with your existing firewall, it prevents north and south traffic against external malware traffic to inside. Finally, you can achieve fully secure environment by this design. I believe that you still remember I haven't mentioned about zero trust security when I talk about the mandatory software installation. I simply visualized what strategy of Genian NAC for zero trust security is. With a Genian NAC, a user, a devices get the granted only limited access to the resource that they are meant to be with the condition of secure. So what I mean, the right devices and user have the right level of access to the right resource, that there is no risk posture on the devices. And Genian NAC continuously monitor the device's status changing during on the network. So far, we have been finding many Genian NAC, how Genian NAC can cover the customer need. I believe that each business industry has its own problem. So I hope that this session would be very, very helpful to persuade your customer actual need for your sales. This is the end of the today webinar session 3. I highly appreciate with your joining this session. So I hope you guys see you 2 weeks later with the next session 4. So This is just the end of the content session 3, and right now we are going to start to Q&A session. This Q&A session is hosted by David and Steve. We are going to this session right now on the air. So please welcome the host of the David and Steve. Please hold on 1 second.
Thank you, Yanju. Sorry for guys, we have a little bit trouble. So I hope you and your families are being safe and well under the COVID-19 outbreak. So from now on, with me and Steve, we are going to take some questions regarding with this session. Please feel free to ask us any question regarding with this subject. We may not answer all of the questions due to the time limitation, but we will do our best to answer as of now, and then we will also make some Q&A report, just like any other session, and we will share it after the session later. Any question do you have? Any question? Okay, the first question is from Oliver. The question is, for the enforcing mandatory software, for clarifications only, the Genians has the capability to push mandatory installation to the endpoint. We can do both. So in a mild way, we can give some warning, some message through the captive web portal or through the agent pop-up. But at the same time, we can also do the enforce them to install the mandatory software. Unless they complete the software installation, they cannot access the network. Okay, we can do the both. And we can also do the silent mode as well. Thank you, Oliver. Any other question? So with this session, we highlight most like 4 or 5 the sessions, 5 subject main features. First, we check how Genian NAC actually work once you have the Genian NAC internally, how it actually managed the beginning of the device is detected and until it comply all the requirement of the compliance from the company. And second, we highlight also the IPAM. And third, we also check the IT asset management. And fourth, we also check the remediation process, how we actually have to the people to comply, the company complies. Not only just to block, but also we need to make sure the people able to access their network for the service, right? So we already show you that we can do that. And the final one is we explain about the security automation, how we can actually co-work with other existing security solution in the company environment. Because the problem is most security solution work as a silo. They don't know the other solutions, how it works. So we co-work with others and providing correlated information, provide much more secure the environment, just simply not working alone. So yeah, these are the subject that we check today's session. I think there's no more question here. So thank you everyone to join our the third sales session webinar. So please don't leave. After this Q&A session, Yeonju Lee will explain about the webinar event. Okay, I guess you already have some email from the Yeonju. Yeonju, could you please explain about the event?
Oh, David, I think I found some new question about it. Could you please follow up the question? So you don't have to urgent that because we have a lot of time there. If you have so many more questions, we can wait over there. We can wait over fully that. Okay.
Okay, sorry. So there is another question from Mustaqin Hassan. The question is, what type of information did you collect from the endpoint if using the agent? A good question. So I just explained based on the Windows. So once you installed agent into the one of your Windows, the environment, it will gather most of the information the OS has, such as hardware specification, just like the what kind of main board, what kind of the NIC, the card you are using it, or the memory, etc. And what kind of like printer, Bluetooth, tethering you are using it. And also it also provides the software installation status. So we will check whether antivirus is installed, whether it's up to date, and also it will give you some information about the OS patch information. And also it will give you the basic information regarding with Windows security setting, just like USB, and then share folder, and screensaver, and password setting. Those informations you can have, and also you can control of those. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Hassan. Okay, there's another question from Mohammed Shah. Is Genian NAC able to integrate with SIEM or SOAR in terms of if SIEM or SOAR want to redirect certain infected hosts to the captive porter? Yes, it is one of the features that we can support. So integrate with this kind of third-party solution, and we can give the redirection, the guide through the captive porter. It is possible. Any other question? So all, okay. There is another question from Jess. With the latest version, may I ask if the USB fail-safe is supported? User is not in the office anymore. So we basically support that the USB fail-safe, and even if the user is not in the office anymore. So just like what we have as of now. So people work remotely. So yeah, this kind of like feature is sometimes required in order to secure the device they have. So yes, we support this feature. You're welcome. Do you have any more questions? If you don't have no more question, then okay, another question. From a son, the question is, can Genius support wireless sensor or act like a wireless sensor? Okay, so as all of you knows that all the Genius component is the made as a software base. So you can install those software into any type of Intel-based hardware or virtual environment or even Genius appliance. So regarding with network sensor, there's a two actually into. One is wired, the sensor, and wireless sensor. So if you install this network sensor into the hardware with the wireless, the hardware, I mean the LAN card and the NIC card, then it will work as a wireless sensor. So it sends all the SSID around the sensor, and same with the agent as well. So as long as you the installed hardware has the wireless the card, then it will work as the wireless sensor. So Steve just added some detailed explanation with the docs link. You may refer it. So, and also we will guide you a more detailed answer after this Q&A session.